So here's the thing. A roguelite system in video games is a design style where each playthrough is meant to feel unique, unpredictable, and challenging. The core features usually include procedural generation of some kind, meaning levels, enemies, or items are randomized each run. There's also permadeath, meaning when the player dies, they start over from the beginning instead of reloading a save. Progress through runs comes either by learning through experience or sometimes unlocking permanent upgrades. This system creates a loop where failure isn't the end, but part of the gameplay, encouraging players to adapt, experiment, and push a little further each time. Now, I think that the game that we've created so far has the unpredictability, procedural generation, and permadeath taken care of. I know, it's a bit of a stretch, being a simple game like Asteroids, but the game modes that we've created so far, being the infinite mode that continuously spawns in randomly chosen asteroids from an array, making each run unpredictable, and the wave mode that modifies the infinite mode to spawn in asteroids in waves so that each wave can be treated as a level. This will make it really easy to create a roguelite game loop. Let's take a closer look at what we'll need. First, we'll need some sort of ability point system that will allow us to upgrade the ship after each run. Next, we'll need some abilities. And so far, we have 3 stats we can use. In part 1 of the series, we created the player abilities using composition. In the move ability, we used constants for the acceleration and the rotation speed of the ship. And in the shot ability, a constant for the fire rate. So I think we can use these stats as a base for our upgrades. Now, in Godot, we cannot change constants at runtime. So we'll need to do some refactoring and change them to regular variables. And also, considering that we now need to manage these abilities, it would be a really great idea to have an abilities manager autoload and move these stats in there. I introduced the concept of autoloads in part 2 of the series. Basically, Godot can use autoloads to make these variables globally accessible. But not to worry, it will all make sense once we jump in. And speaking of abilities, how about we add 2 more abilities into the mix? A shield ability that will, as the name implies, shield the player from damage by the asteroids for a short time, like 5 seconds or so, and a multi-shot ability which will allow the player to shoot bullets in different directions, also for a short time. And as for the upgrades of these 2 abilities, we will just increase how long the player can use them, let's say by 5-second increments. To manage all this data, we'll create an abilities menu. In each run, as the player destroys the asteroids, some of them will drop ability points as pickups, and the player will be able to collect these ability points and spend them on upgrades at the end of each run. This might all seem complicated, but not to worry, it's a lot easier than it looks. I know there's a lot to manage here, but just like a 1,000-piece puzzle, we'll solve it one piece at a time.